G'day guys, how's it going? Okay, persuasion. There's this guy, pretty awesome. I'll put a link to his YouTube vid below. Young bloke in college, in a debate team. It's really interesting, a lot of the stuff that he talks about. Just kind of started though, so doesn't have a lot of followers. But you know, hey, tell him the rubber kitty sent you. He probably doesn't know me anyway. But I've found a lot of what he says interesting, and he can talk really fast. Talks as fast as a mofo. But a lot of the stuff that he said was really interesting with regards to debating, in that there are a couple of schools of thought with regards to debating where you have to persuade the judge or persuade somebody of your argument that you're right. And another one is that it's not so much the persuading someone into believing you're right, it is, are you able to argue the points of your case? Or are you able to disprove and dismantle the points of the opposition's case? Now, you might think that they're the same thing, but again, context, perspective, and the main goal. If you go into an argument or a discussion just trying to prove that you're right rather than share information or open your mind up or allow for other possibilities, you've lost. Or you might win the argument. It's kind of like winning the battle but losing the war. You would have lost the opportunity to learn something because your mind is just so focused on I'm right, that you don't open up your possibilities and open up your mind to learning and appreciating other people's different points of view. However, if you go into it with the purpose of, okay, that's their argument, I've got to come up with a rebuttal and be able to dismantle it, or shit, I wasn't aware of that, they caught me out on that one, rather than just going, oh, but because I'm right, then, you know, you've won, even if you've lost. That's the whole point he was going on about, is because you've allowed your mind to open up. You've been able to experience and gain more, so you've still won. You've expanded. You've improved. You can agree to disagree. So, have you ever gone into any discussions with the intent on proving that you're right, or trying to prove the other person wrong, instead to say that you're right? Or have you gone into it trying to go, okay, these are points, they're all valid, however, I have an argument against that. Or this is a point that you probably didn't take into consideration with regards to your point of view or your argument or your case. So, there's that. Have you ever just thought, well, I'm right because, or come up with the same argument over and over again? Have you been able to adjust your argument to get people to realize and put forward other different arguments? I mean, seriously, if you're going along the same discussions, the same things over and over again, and then have you really thought or gone back or revised your arguments, gathered in new information to actually say, okay, this is a slight angle, I've got to change that argument, or this is a slight angle that reinforces the argument. It's not always about reinforcing. Sometimes it's about going over and going, okay, that's something I hadn't taken into account. I mean, get into a discussion with somebody today. You know, someone who's probably a view that you don't agree with. Try and not say the word, I just don't agree with that, or you're wrong. Even to some extent, a lot of people are using things like, well, facts and science says this, so therefore you're wrong and I'm right, or I've thought about it and you're wrong because I've thought about it for a long time, and you're wrong because I don't care. That's not an argument. It's not a discussion, guys. A discussion is like, okay, well, I see that you've got valid points there, and you know, are you aware of this? Have you thought of this thing? Okay, cool, no problems. And you can say, the way I see it is this, but also be prepared to rebut that or just accept that somebody else has a different point of view. You know, however common the definitions for things are, People will apply and view it in different ways. Yeah, you can't really, well, people are changing the definitions these days. I mean, misogynist actually is a hatred of women, not just a dislike and a disdain for them. It's actually a hatred of women, just like, the opposing fact is, hatred of men, that they just hate them and they want to kill them and just don't want to be around them. Misogynists, if they were real misogynists, they wouldn't be married, they wouldn't have kids around them, females around them at all. That's a pure misogynist. Rather than just disliking women, they actually hate them and will avoid them. It's like a phobia of some sort, but they're not afraid, they just don't like them. So that's one sort of change of definition that I don't agree with, because it's too expansive, it's not definitive. And aside from that, it's just kind of a slippery slope in that regards. Anyways, so expanding your mind, have a discussion with somebody today, someone with opposing views or slightly different views on a particular point that you have. Work out whether you're actually trying to be right or whether you're actually trying to learn off them, or whether you're trying to persuade them to your point of view. And it's not always about getting them to agree with you, because seriously, if everyone agreed with you all the time, life would be so boring. Anyways, I don't know. This weather's just really crappy. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thursday, yay! Chinese New Year. Kongi Fatoi. Have a good Chinese New Year. Year of the Piglet. Beep beep pigs. And pigs are good things. They represent a lot of excellent stuff, so have a research into that. Love you guys. See ya.